Hi Nengun racing fans. Well, as promised, I said I would do a review video of our first race, round one of the Australasia Endurance Championship at Bathurst. And here we are. So right now we're just finishing our recon lap or formation lap. Everybody drives around to get into their starting position on the grid. And at this time, I guess I'll point out that I was actually the race administrator for this race, so I decided not to do a qualifying run, partially because we were having some technical issues during qualifying, and it was best that I just sat out and started from the back of the grid. So I'm actually starting in 20th position out of 21 cars. And as soon as all the cars get lined up in their positions here, the lights will go green and the race will begin. So I think there's maybe one more car coming. Okay, you'll see shortly the cars will shift slightly. That's just to realign them. So they're in there, right there. They're in their actual starting positions. So here we go. So I got off to a pretty bad start actually, but with a long race like this, there's no real rush. Remember, it's a 2.4-hour race. And you can see there's a car behind me here. And then all of a sudden, there is no car behind me. Unfortunately, that driver's got a disconnect from the game, which happens from time to time. And you can see lots of smoke. And that's because there's one car right around the corner here. Actually, two cars had made contact, and one of the other GTRs had spun and lost his front end. But it's actually a very fast driver, so it doesn't take him long to catch up. And you can kind of see I've let the cars in front of me get away. Obviously that wasn't intentional, but I think I was a bit extra cautious getting around the guy who had spun around. And it doesn't take much for a gap to open up. I still think the GTR is the best sounding car in this particular mod. Some might argue, but I don't care. And another guy actually had a pretty big spin there, so he heads straight into the pits. So with those two spins, I'm now up to 18th position and starting on lap 2 here. And over the next few laps I managed to close that gap back up. So let's just skip ahead a bit here. If we go to about lap Okay. So as you can see, I've closed the gap completely now. I'd actually been had a very good battle with this car in front of me here. It's an Aston Martin, and he was able to pull out mostly on the straights, but I was able to close that back up under braking, and depending on my corner exit, I could sometimes even make up some ground on the straights. But right now I'm pretty close to him. Don't really want to get too much closer than that. And I had a thought about making a move right there, but thought better of it. And right now I'm in 16th position, so I had made up a couple more positions. I think some other people had picked up some damage and had to do some early pit stops. But I was trying to put as much pressure on the driver in front of me as I could without taking too many risks. There was still a long ways to go in the race at this point, so you can see this is a long straight where he pulls out a little bit of a gap again. I had a strategy for the race, and I knew it was going to be difficult, but I wanted to use fuel wisely in the GTR. It wasn't the most fuel efficient car. And as you can see right about here, actually both ran very wide at that last corner, but I was able to make the pass right there. Yeah, so fuel was always going to be an issue in the GTR, but after a lot of testing and some careful planning, I figured I could make the race a 2-stop race instead of 3. Which some cars might have had to do. And I was conserving fuel, but when I was trying to get past this driver, I had to use a bit more than I had wanted to. So I'm now up to 15th position. So we'll skip forward a little bit again. We'll do a lap. Lap 11 here. Actually, this is the very end of lap 10. And the driver had spun in front of me previously. I'm about to put him a lap behind me. Obviously, he's still got some damage. He's missing his front end. I'm not sure if that was more damage or still the same damage that just didn't get repaired during his first pit stop there. I'm still in 15th position, but things were looking pretty good. I think I was getting close to being back onto my fuel strategy at this point. So I wasn't, I knew this guy was about to be lapped, or I was about to lap him, so I wasn't too concerned about using any more fuel than I had to. Trying to get by. It wasn't for a fight for a position. I think coming down the hill here, he got a little bit sideways. That's probably because, yeah, right there. Probably because he was missing the front wing. But I got a good run out of the last corner here on him. usually when you're missing your front wing, your speed on the straights increases a little bit, but I think I got in his draft right there, and helped me close the gap even more. And then he ran wide a little bit there, and I jumped at the chance. Not sure if he let me by or if it was just a good pass. But I'm up to 15th position now. And I actually passed 2 more cars in the pits right there, so all the way up to 13th now. So started in 20th, up to 13th by the start of lap 12. And then I pulled the gap out on this guy that I just lapped. Yeah, right there. He braked a bit late, I think, and probably picked up some more damage. So let's skip forward to lap 19 now. Okay, so again we're at the end of lap 18 actually, but I'm actually up to 9th position at this point. Mostly just due to cars on different pit strategies, but I had made up quite a few positions even in the last couple laps there. At this point I was almost positive I was back on my fuel strategy, so I had planned to do 21 to 22 laps per fuel, full tank of fuel, and this was at lap 19. I think I still had to short shift a little bit, but that was just for extra precaution, just to make sure I got there. So you can probably hear when I'm shifting, I'm not actually, and actually that's what we call server lag. But you can see I kept driving. I don't see that on my screen, but that's what the server shows. Yeah, so I was back on my fuel plan, and things were looking good. I was very happy with being up to 9th position. After my fuel stop, I would have probably dropped quite a few of those positions back, but I would probably come out in 15th or so. And pretty quickly here, things turned bad, because right there I lost my internet connection to the game, unfortunately. So although I was in 9th position at the time, that's when my race ended. Get out of the game here, and we'll have a look at the results page. So as you can see, the driver in first place was Barca 888 or Barca 888. Second place was Ozspacer. Third place was ORA Stick. And way down the list in 18th position was You Lead the Way for Nengun Racing. Okay, well, that's it for this video, guys. Hopefully I'll have another race video for you shortly or soon, and hopefully a better finishing result. Thanks for watching.